What's up, everyone, and welcome to Project X Talk Extra, your weekly podcast supplement from Project X Talk. My name is Kevin, aka the Muffin Man, and I'm joined this week by only two of the five, the only ones that bothered to show up today. Happy birthday, Tom! I know you're off doing celebrations, but Ethan, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. It's been a great week of video games. I'm excited to do the podcast with y'all, but I'm also excited about this tier list we're about to get into.
Aman, how are you doing? He's nodding his head in approval.
I'm doing all right. Good to be back after a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Ethan kind of mentioned what we're going to be doing today. Before we get into that, if you like this content, make sure to like, share, subscribe. We are on all audio platforms, so while you're over there, leave us a review. We are growing. We're on the way to 400 subscribers over on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed, please come over, drop us. It's free, doesn't cost you anything, just helps us out. Shows us that you like us. But we are going to do a tier list today, and we're going to be ranking all of Xbox game studios, including Activision-Blizzard. I know the deal isn't official yet, but we are including them. So this is us going to give the definitive ranking of all 32 studios now or whatever that Xbox is going to own once the acquisition closes. So I'm going to share my screen. So
there's going to be some disagreements here. I can tell you that right now.
For sure. So everybody can see my screen, and we're just gonna start right at the top here with the initiative. Now,
D.
Okay. So
all right, damn.
So it's funny you say that because I was also gonna say D because they haven't done anything yet.
Yeah, exactly.
How can I
now they need help from Crystal Dynamics? D.
I mean, you got to give them at least one for them working on a Perfect Dark reboot. I mean, come on, that's a labor of love right there. At least give them a C.
I think I need to see something from the
gameplay.
Yeah,
we need to see gameplay.
Right.
Then we can.
I'll give you all that. So that's a quick one.
Yeah, that is a quick one. Some of these are gonna be quick. Some of these are gonna be a little aggressive, I think. Number 2, Double Fine. I'm gonna keep my opinion. Aman, where do you think Double Fine should be?
B.
Okay.
Oh,
Ethan?
no. This is an S tier studio for me. Tim Schafer is a genius on the level of Hideo Kojima. I mean, this man is a legend in the industry. They consistently put out bangers. Their most recent game, obviously nominated for Game of the Year, one of the greatest video games I've ever played in my life. He's a platforming legend. So, Kevin, I know that you're happy with Double Fine. I think this belongs in S tier. If any studio belongs in S tier, it's Double Fine.
See, the only reason I'm putting it in B is because he's only they've only put out one game under Xbox Game Studios.
Well, is that what we're doing? Are we judging them for games that they put out?
I'm taking into account all of their.
Okay,
yes,
then
that's what I'm doing.
If that's the case, then I'd say A, because there was Brutal Legend.
Okay.
There was the first Psychonauts. Okay, then I'd say
A. Listen, as much as I love Psychonauts 2, I have to agree with Aman. I think they're A tier right now. And that's okay. Psychonauts 2, absolutely perfect game. Absolutely love it. If you gave me Psychonauts 2 every year for the rest of my life, I would be happy. I just don't think the rest of their catalog you've mentioned a bunch of stuff, but they have a lot of point and click adventure games that I'm not too fond of. It's not.
Yeah, they mostly go for niche audiences. And, that's what Tim Schafer really is known for, is just kind of pushing the limits and really targeting niche audiences. I mean, I'm looking at the list of Double Fine games right now, and I mean, most of them are just that niche audience stuff. Psychonauts is probably one of their only AAA crazy banger things that I can think of.
But before Psychonauts 2, they couldn't really do AAA games because they didn't have the funding for it.
Right.
And now under Xbox they do. So
I can respect an A tier. I can respect an A tier.
I think A right now, I can see them becoming S tier studio. The path they're on, if they continue to deliver the quality Psychonauts 2, then there's no doubt in my mind they're going to be held in the S tier of studios.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Okay, then.
All right, guys. I think this one will be a little controversial. 343 Industries. Amon.
This is you go for
I'm
Amon.
gonna go to him because he hates Halo, so I gotta get him out of the way first, and then you and me can have a reasonable conversation.
I would say C.
Okay. Ethan.
So
Because like they've had one good Halo game.
well, hold on. Let's talk about this for a bit. So 343 botched their first 2 Halo games. Let's just say how it is. Halo 4 and Halo 5 were flops, and it caused a lot of issues with Xbox as a whole. A lot of people lost interest in the founding franchise of Xbox, and that was a stab in the back from a lot of people. And I understand they were under immense pressure. You know, it's not easy to take up the helm of a storied franchise like Halo and just pump out the content that is on the same level as the originals. It's very difficult. So I don't envy them for that challenge, but I think with Halo Infinite, and I'm specifically talking about the gameplay aspect of the multiplayer and the campaign, I think they really delivered here with that game. I think we're starting to see cracks in the formula with them. They're not the best studio suited to run a live service game. They're not doing the best job right now. It hasn't been long enough for me to completely give up on them yet, though, for that. I think they can turn this thing around. But if we're talking about campaign and gameplay and how fun the multiplayer is to play, I think they made it an incredible game here. And I know there are people out there who really liked Halo 5 and Halo 4. Even though all 3 of us, I think, can agree we personally didn't enjoy those games. So I think this deserves at least a B because it looks like they're really turning the tide here. And I think we're going to start seeing more consistent Halo content out of them. That's up to the level of what Bungie gave us in the early 2000s.
See, I think they have potential to become a B. They're not a B yet.
I'm torn.
I would still stick with C.
I'm torn on 343 because I love Halo Infinite. I think campaign is my second favorite Halo campaign.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think multiplayer is the best feeling gameplay wise that multiplayer's ever been. I do have to take into consideration their previous failures, though. Halo 4 for me is the worst Halo game ever made. I do not enjoy the story. Yep. I do the gameplay does not feel good. The art style, they went in a new direction for the 360. I don't enjoy the multiplayer at all. Who does? 5, I think, has some redeeming qualities. I don't hate the campaign as much as everyone else does. It's not great. And the multiplayer was decent. I won't say it was good, but it was decent. It was an all right multiplayer shooter for a little bit. So for me,
yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to take into account the Master Chief Collection too, because I think we're overlooking their work on that.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I'd say 80% of the Master Chief Collection is Bungie's work. And that's no knock to 343. You know, that's just what it was. And they did a great job with Master Chief Collection. I think they did a great job at bringing into the fold all the different multiplayers and all the different campaigns. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I'd say stick them at B. You know, they still have a lot to prove here, but they just haven't quite reached the cusp yet to be able to prove it to me that they're worthy of the Halo franchise.
I agree with you. I'm gonna put them at B for me. I think B is a fair ranking. 2 of the 3 of us feel B is fair. I think they have if they can keep going with the quality of campaign they delivered for Halo Infinite, then I think it's S tier seems a bit unrealistic. I think they can probably get to an A tier. It's not like Halo Infinite was like, oh my God, this is the greatest story ever told. But I think they can do better than what they are, and they are doing better than what they have. So there's improvement. I don't think they're a D or C tier. Some people, don't like them, but I would give them B. I think right in the middle is fine. They're an average studio, mainly putting out one good game and then, some mediocre work.
And I do want to kind of come to their defense here. I don't want to spend too much time on it because I know we're strapped for time, but real quickly, I kind of understand why 3. You mentioned, Kevin, that they changed up the art style and the feel of the Halo franchise. And in a way, it kind of makes sense. They wanted to make those games their own. They didn't want to just copy and paste what Bungie did. And I kind of understand that because this is a different development team. They have all their own ideas. And in a way that could have really rubbed people the wrong way. And maybe that's why it didn't hit as much, because people were used to that Bungie formula of Halo and that gameplay style and that art style. So 343 took a risk there and it didn't pay off for them. I appreciate them taking the risk. So I did kind of want to come to their defense there for a bit, why I think they should be at B or higher.
So next we have Xbox Game Studios publishing arm. This is the studio that deals with the third-party exclusive, timed exclusive stuff that they published, made from indie games. We know they're working with like Contraband, like Avalanche for Contraband. Those are those types of deals. I don't think they've done a great job in the last however long they've existed. Because Xbox, look at the Xbox One gen. We did not have even great third-party exclusives. So how can I possibly say that they're living up to any sort of potential?
Right. I would say C for them. Because, see, the stuff they have in the pipeline, like Project Dragon from IO, Interactive, that all sounds interesting. But right now, they've only delivered mediocre games, I would say. I mean, the latest one being The Gunk. I think that was a decent game.
That wasn't even them. They didn't even publish that.
They didn't publish that? Oh, okay.
No, Thunderful published that. But
there we go.
No, but yeah,
I think it's only up for them from this point on. Like the things they have in the pipeline sound great.
Sure.
And
yeah, they haven't aggressively gone after some of these dev studios, I think, as aggressively as, let's say, a Nintendo or a Sony. Yeah, so that I think they need to market it better, because in my opinion, Xbox is the best place to play, and that's not just me repeating corporate jargon. That's what I legitimately think. So I think they need to be more aggressive in their marketing tactics and say, "Hey, bring your games to Xbox," and I don't think we've seen them do that yet.
Agreed. Let's move on. Ninja Theory. I'm going to say it straight up. This is an A tier studio. I disagree. Hellblade is a master class.
Name another game besides Hellblade.
Heavenly Sword.
I've never.
They also did Devil May Cry, but that wasn't.
That was a remake, though.
It was a remake. Well, yeah, it was a remake, which now isn't a remake. It's the whole thing. Yeah. I think Ninja Theory has always been a good studio.
They have been a good studio,
to show their potential.
Exactly.
I'm going to agree with Amon on this, and I think it's B. I don't think they're there yet at an A or an S tier. They definitely have the chops to be there, though, and we just need to see some more evidence.
Hellblade 2?
After Hellblade 2 is out, I definitely think they can be an A or an S even.
But let's also point out that the best game they ever made is only an 8-hour journey. It's a very quick game. It's not like a giant AAA studio game. I mean, it's incredible, don't get me wrong, but that's pretty much the top tier of what they've made so far. So hopefully Hellblade 2, we get to see a much bigger adventure and a lot more fun. So after Hellblade 2, if it hits as good as Hellblade 1, I'd say yes, A tier. But for now,
we also have Project Mara in development.
Project Mara,
right? Their gears are turning.
Yep. You're hurting me a little bit, but I'll concede B tier. Next is Alpha Dog.
D, straight up.
I couldn't say anything on it.
D tier. Who is the studio? They're owned by ZeniMax, but like I think they make mobile games. I don't.
Yeah, it's a mobile games developer, so I don't have any. They've only made three mobile games according to this, and they've been in business since 2012. So even for a mobile game developer, they're not pumping out content. So who cares? Yeah,
who cares?
I can see them like after the Activision deal is done, sort of being integrated with King or something.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Because Xbox has they have a mobile game sort of arm that they want to start moving into. They've done a Forza mobile game. They've done a Doom. I think it was Alpha Dog Games that's working on the Doom mobile game. So hopefully Xbox can utilize them that well for the mobile market, just not what I'm into. So
yeah, agree.
Next up, I'm gonna go to Sledgehammer Games. This one is not done yet. They'll be coming over with Activision-Blizzard. For me, they're B tier.
But
right?
all they've done is
just a Call of
supported
Duty.
the Call of Duty games.
They're a Call of Duty studio, right? Like what else is
I think
Sledgehammer?
they're
Sports studio,
I
though.
think they're
They're
one
the
of the
sports
better
studio.
Call of Duty studios, though.
That's
They've
why
been
I'm
a
giving
part
them
of
B tier. Yeah.
right. They've been a part of some of my. I really liked Call of Duty World War II. I'm just a World War II fan, like buff when it comes to history. So I love those video games. And then Black Ops Cold War, I really enjoyed as well. So I'd give Sledgehammer a higher tier Call of Duty studio. So I would agree with a B tier rating.
Yeah,
I would go for C.
I think because they do produce the higher quality Call of Duty games, I think that gets them a B. Because like even if I don't like Call of Duty, I can recognize like okay.
But like, didn't they work with Treyarch on Cold War?
Because Treyarch works mostly with the Black Ops
just a support
franchise.
studio. They aren't the main developers.
Well, they were going to be the main developer of the one, and it got taken away from them.
Oh, okay.
Well, let's be fair here. There's not really any main developers with Call of Duty games. It's usually 2 or 3 studios all working concurrently on the same game.
It's just Activision.
Yeah.
I think B is fine for Sledgehammer. I don't. Okay. Hurts me to see them next to Ninja Theory, but you know it is what it is. High Moon Studios. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know anything about High Moon.
They made the Deadpool game. They made Dark Watch. They made Spy Fiction. Yeah, straight.
So that's a D tier studio.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with them as well.
No.
It looks like they were a COD. They were a COD support studio.
I am so sick of this narrative that the Deadpool game is good from you. It is not a good game.
It is such a good game. It is one of the best games I've ever played.
They also worked on the Transformers games.
Yeah,
Transformers
they worked on all 4. Yeah, wait, and those were great as well. Those were pretty good.
War for Cybertron?
They made, well, I don't know if they made or if they were a support studio. War for Cybertron, Dark of the Moon, and Fall of Cybertron.
Okay. Some of those are pretty good.
Oh, you're switching it up here?
Yeah. I didn't know they did the Transformers game.
They also worked on Destiny 1 and 2. They also did some work on Destiny 1 and 2.
All right. Well, I think this puts them firmly in the B tier.
I could agree with that, yeah.
But like Dark Watch, come on, that game was so good.
I don't know what that is.
It's a 2005 game for the PS2 and the original Xbox.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you know about that, Aman.
I just recently played it on emulator.
Aman plays the weirdest
You don't play
stuff.
on emulators. You don't pirate video games. What are you talking about? We don't do that here.
Yeah, no, I don't do that.
Yeah, no.
That's illegal. My friend was doing it. I was like, I was just there in the same room.
It was just off in the corner being like, you shouldn't be doing that. That's piracy.
Emulating PS2 games is illegal, guys.
Okay. Arcane Studios.
A tier.
Easy A.
Easy A.
No, actually S. I would go for S.
No.
I
S. I think S should be really reserved for some of the ones coming up. But Arcane, just a very, very good Bethesda studio.
I agree.
I mean, they made Deathloop. We all liked. I mean, I assume you guys like Deathloop. I've seen gameplay.
I didn't play Deathloop, and
Prey is a fantastic video game. Dishonored is one of my favorite stealth games of all time.
Yeah,
so I
love the Dishonored series. Yeah,
Arcane is a very consistent studio that they know the type of game that they make, and they do a very good job at it.
I think they're A rank, but they don't get appreciated for. Besides Deathloop, I don't feel like their games have been appreciated for how good they are.
I think they've always been drowned out by big Bethesda for sure.
Yeah.
They're not the critical or commercial success besides Deathloop. I think Deathloop was their first hit in the mainstream that really appealed to everyone.
Right.
But from what I've heard from people that know the studio, Dishonored is still a better game than Deathloop.
Yeah, definitely. Dishonored 2 was amazing. That was a legendary game. Dishonored.
Yeah. Go play it on Game Pass.
I would say
the
only reason Deathloop did well was because of the PlayStation marketing.
Ugh. I thought that was a hindrance to it, if anything, seeing it too much.
No, I mean, just like the casual audience would be like, oh, it's a new PlayStation exclusive.
I mean, it got nominated for Game of the Year, so it had to have hit.
It hit for a lot of people, but...
And I'm excited about Redfall. Come on, Redfall's going to be cool.
Redfall looks cool.
I'm
Dark fantasy. I'm
optimistic. Optimistic about Redfall. Okay. Arcane, we all agreed. Bethesda Game Studios.
S.
There's no doubt. I mean, Elder Scrolls to me is the greatest game franchise in the history of gaming. Elder Scrolls is just, it should be on the Mount Rushmore of gaming, and it should just be alone. There shouldn't be anyone else besides it's the greatest video game franchise of all time, and I'm nerding out here. I get it. All right. But I mean, Bethesda, not only Elder Scrolls, Fallout is up there too. I mean, it's just consistent, incredible RPG experiences. They always push the limit with their new games. I mean, this is one of the best studios in the history of gaming. So definitely S tier.
I agree with you, but they're being carried by Elder Scrolls for me. I don't like Fallout.
Well, for you, but they're definitely not being carried by Elder Scrolls, because Elder Scrolls, we haven't seen a new one in over a decade.
Who needs a new one when Skyrim's selling? It's on the fridges. It's on the Nokia, you know.
Should go to say how great of a video game it is. Skyrim's a great game.
It is a great game.
Skyrim is legendary.
It really is.
So we're all in agreement with S tier for
Absolutely.
Bethesda, then?
Yeah.
Figured as much. Is the next one Demonware?
Yes,
I believe so.
They have like really weird games, like Pinball.
I don't know who it is.
They have like Pinball and that weird snake game.
Snake?
Yeah.
I'm not too familiar with this studio, so let me.
They have like they're mainly a support studio now. They have very few games, and I don't think their last game was like 2002. So.
Yeah, so I don't know. They look like they've been a studio that kind of works in the background in Activision. Yeah. They don't really put their name to a lot of things. So
their last game was 1991.
Yeah.
Okay. Why are they even on this list? This isn't a real studio.
I mean, that's no fault of their own. You know, that's just the role they play. We get it. You know, it's no harm, no foul.
Activision-Blizzard got rid of Vicarious Visions, but they're keeping this trash around. I won't stand for it, Phil.
They must do something for them that makes it profitable. So I don't know.
Vicarious Visions isn't resurrected like, then I will be. They need to lower Vicarious Visions down with the crash animation. All right, Beanox.
S tier.
S tier.
Yeah, they worked on the Spider-Man games, X-Men games. Basically all the old Marvel games before Sony got a hold of them.
Bro, I only know that they made Crash Team Racing, and that was like, I'm putting them in A tier because that game slaps.
They made Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, The Amazing Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man.
Yeah, they have made a lot of stuff. I'll be honest with you, the last Spider-Man game I've actually played was on the GameCube, so I don't know about any of that.
Those are some hot titles.
They also made Skylanders.
They do make Skylanders. Well, they co-develop Skylanders. Yeah, they're not like fully part of it, but they work with Toys for Bob.
Secretly an S tier studio?
No, they've been mostly a COD studio. They did work on Crash 4.
They helped out with the original Star Wars Battlefront.
I think they go in A. They got a long history of bangers.
So they did do work more recently on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. That reboot.
Banger.
And then they also did work on Crash 4, which I loved Crash 4. So
yeah, Crash 4 is amazing. And
such a good game.
And Spider-Man Edge of Time was fantastic.
But I mean, they have been working on a lot of Call of Duties. I'm really excited to see what Microsoft does with them. I think they have a lot of potential to pump out some great video games.
Definitely.
All right. This is turn 10.
So
they're the Forza Motorsport team, not Horizon.
I'm gonna say this is S tier, okay? And here's my reasoning. I'm not a racing simulator guy. I mostly play like Forza Horizon, something that has to have a little more pep in it, to play it. I'm not all about that simulated racing experience. But from what I've seen on the outside looking in, hearing from commentators, fans of that genre, this is one of the two premier studios for racing simulators, and they consistently pump out perfection. This is our Gran Turismo on the Xbox side. So I mean, I would put this at S tier just on that alone. They have their niche that they cover, and that's simulated racing games, and they do it perfectly. So I think for the job that they're doing, it deserves an S tier.
I can agree with Ethan here. Yeah.
I was gonna say A tier because I think Horizon is better, but you convinced me. Like
it is.
You sold
for
me
me
on it.
For me, it's better, but I understand that the motorsports experience is not necessarily the experience I'm looking for. But for those people that are looking for it, that is one of the premier titles. That is top-notch stuff.
Turn 10 and Polyphony, they're like the best racing developers. They're the top. So
we got id next. These are the studio that makes Doom. And I gotta say, this is they gotta be at least A tier, if not S tier, right?
Definitely. A. Maybe S actually, because they're like the original Doom games came out like when? The 70s?
I'm just going. I've never played the original. You're muted, Ethan.
I
never played
haven't
the
either,
originals.
but
Were they the ones that did the original Doom games?
I think
I'm not
so.
sure. I need to look real quick.
Don't know. I just know that Doom Eternal slaps hard.
Oh gosh, yes. They also
they
did
the
some work
original
on the
Doom games.
Wolfenstein series.
They did
bit of
Quake.
Wolfenstein.
They also did Quake.
Quake is very
and the
fun.
original Doom games.
And they
as
have
well.
the id
That's it.
engine, which is an amazing. id Tech is so good. Like they're just like really good development team.
Oh, and they worked on
Yeah.
Rage. Yeah, give these guys an A tier. Rage is fantastic. It's on Game Pass. Go play it.
I think S.
The
original Doom games would probably be like really like they would be like that would be like the grandfather of first person shooters.
My only argument against S is that, like, I don't know. I just I was gonna say I don't feel like any of their games have like revolutionized anything, but you might have me there.
Well, I am doing some live lookup right now because I wasn't aware that ID made the original Doom games, and I do think I would agree with them on here that it's S tier because to me, Doom created the first-person shooter genre in a way. I mean, they were the pioneers on it, and they popularized it. So I would agree that because this studio has had such an effect on the game industry, this should be up there with things like Bethesda and Turn 10.
Definitely.
All right, guys, we got about 25-ish minutes left to get through these. So I'm gonna jump around for some easier. King, I only know them from Candy Crush.
B, I guess.
Yeah, B just because they've made the most popular mobile game in history. So I think that's some credit to them. I don't care about it, but I understand a lot of people do. So I'll give them a B.
That's fine with me. Mojang Studios.
S, easy S.
And the reason
I knew you were
listen,
gonna say S.
I have played a lot of Minecraft before when I was younger. I don't play anymore. But the fact that one dude created this blocky game and made it a multi-billion-dollar international conglomerate. It's an incredible story. It's one of the biggest underdog stories of indie game development in history. This is definitely one of those studios that revolutionized the industry, in my opinion.
Definitely.
They've made Minecraft and Minecraft Dungeons.
And they've profited, and Minecraft is still one of the most popular games in the world right now.
Dan TDM came to existence because of Minecraft. Like, he's one of the most popular YouTubers out there. He came into existence.
I just don't understand these people's obsession. What are you seeing about Minecraft?
I don't either. I enjoy the game. I could jump back into it if I wanted to. But the fact that they changed the face of gaming like that, I think they deserve an S tier rating here.
Come at me, Minecraft kids. Stupid character. Steve ain't not even a real character. The fact he's in Smash Brothers makes me sick.
Salt. A little bit of salt there.
At least Banjo got in before him.
Yeah,
that's
true.
justice.
That's true.
I'm gonna go to World's Edge. They do Age of Empires, which is consistently good, right?
Oh,
like,
I mean,
yeah.
A, right?
Yeah.
A. They're like one of the best real-time strategy games.
Yeah. But they haven't done anything past that. So I think A is fair. I think S tier, you need to see more oomph on that, but
they're in their lane and they've perfected their lane.
Exactly. Agreed.
Okay, where should we go now? Undead Labs. Another studio I know very little about.
I love wow. Why did I forget the game? Holy cow. State of Decay. Wow. Yes. State of Decay, one of the greatest zombie games. I'm terrified of zombies and I'm still able to play this game. So I really appreciate that. State of Decay is a fantastic survival zombie video game, but that's really all they've done. Let's be real. That's their lane. They only make State of Decay games. So I'd say B tier because one, they don't have a lot of history. It's really just State of Decay 1, 2, and 3. Other than that, that's all they've worked on. It's not even out yet, but they've done very well in those two games. They've made quality video games there, but I'd say stick it at B for now.
I don't know about the first one. The second one, I could agree, but the first one,
I'm with
First one
Amon.
was jank, yeah, but
I'm with. They're both jank. I had tons of bugs playing State of
2
Decay
ain't
2.
jank.
Two
2
is
is
fun.
great.
Two is
fun, though.
buggy as hell, man. That game
2 was
is
buggy at launch, but they really kind of wrapped it up when they I think it was the Breakthrough DLC. I want to say that's the name of it. But that was fantastic. But yeah, I get what you're saying. They really are an indie studio that just made the big leagues.
Mhm.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
maybe State of Decay 3 is where they burst onto the scene in a
Yeah.
bigger way. But I'm with them on. I'm putting C tier, so
Fair
we're
enough.
going majority. All right, Roundhouse Studios. I don't know.
D. They haven't done a single game.
Are they a new studio?
No, they were called something. Human Head Studios, I think. Long time. They made the original Prey game, the one from the early 2000s.
They used to be Human Head Studios.
Yeah, and
They
then
worked on
got,
Defiance, Rune 2.
Yeah,
They did work on the original Prey.
mm-hmm.
Or they did make the original Prey.
I don't know what. I didn't play the original Prey. I don't know.
It
any of those other games.
wasn't as good as the current one, but they were working on Prey 2, the sequel to that one, and that looked really, really ambitious. But then they canceled that project.
Right. Yeah, they haven't come out with a game since 2019, and the last game was called Rune 2, which it doesn't look like it even made a dent on headlines. Nobody really talked about it.
Yeah.
Great. Playground. We're going to Playground next.
A
for sure.
I
mean, Forza Horizon every few years slaps.
Yeah, and obviously comparing it to Turn 10, they make a consistently good racing game. They're in their niche, but the difference between them and Turn 10 is I don't think Playground has revolutionized the gaming industry in terms of their genre, but they've made pretty much what they do perfection. So definitely
the best arcade
Forza
racer
games,
out there.
Yeah. Forza games keep getting better. The Horizon games,
so
they keep
fun.
getting better. Yeah, they keep getting better after each installment.
And the biggest thing about it is they attract people that normally aren't fans of the racing genre. Exactly. Like me. I play those games because there's just so much to do and there's so much fun to be had. And I'm not a fan of racing games. So that there's something to be said about that.
Well, hopefully after they make Fable, they go up to S tier.
We'll see. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Tango Gameworks. They made The Evil Within, The Evil Within 2, and they're putting out Ghostwire Tokyo.
I would say B.
I haven't played any of the Evil Withins.
The Evil Within is probably my favorite horror game franchise. It's better than Resident Evil.
And you would put it on B?
Oof, no.
No, the only reason I'm putting them on B is because the first one was like a AA game. The second one was where they really broke into the scene. Okay. And now I think after Ghostwire Tokyo, I can maybe give them an A, but that's not out yet. So I would say B.
I think B is fair.
Yeah.
I think B is fair. The Evil Within is all right. I think Ghostwire looks to be a better game in my opinion. So I'm excited for that. But I think they got some talent over there. They got the creator of Resident Evil now at that studio. So I think B is a fine place for them to sit. Where do we want to go? Compulsion. They're C tier for me. They're C tier for me. They haven't done anything yet.
Yeah.
None of their games have hit.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't really been able to show their chops yet. I don't think so.
Their new game, which got leaked, it was Project. I can't remember the name, but the concept art looked cool. So
they got multiple projects going on over there. So I think
We Happy Few was a great game. Don't get me wrong. I loved We Happy Few, but that's really it.
It was a BioShock ripoff.
But it was a good one. Come on, it was a great one. It
was fun. The concept was really good. The team is really creative, and with the bigger budget, they can definitely do something better.
Okay.
All right, we're coming down to the last few here. So I'll go to In Exile. Another team that I think
they deserve A for Bard's Tale alone, because Bard's Tale was really well received in the RPG community, right? Bard's Tale Wasteland.
Never played it.
Bard's Tale is a very legendary game series. So I would keep this up. I played, I think 1 and 2. I haven't played 3 and 4 yet.
Wasteland 3 was a brilliant game. I love that game a lot.
Okay. yeah, that's something I haven't played, so it's good to hear that it was good.
Sounds like you guys. Sounds like their games appeal to you guys more than me. So I'm gonna let you pick where we're putting.
I would
this
say
on.
A. I would say A, yeah.
Okay.
live
Clearly,
with
they
that.
might be better than I thought they were. Okay, the Coalition. They make Gears of War.
A tier.
B.
A for sure.
100%.
Fair enough.
They've consistently pushed the boundaries of what Unreal can do. They make probably the most gorgeous looking games on
And
Xbox.
their storytelling, the storytelling, especially with the original 3 with Marcus, the storytelling of Gears of War is premier storytelling.
Well, that was epic.
So.
4 and 5 were a little iffy, but
did they?
Epic, Epic Games made the first Gears of War.
People Can Fly, People Can Fly made those.
Maybe I'll change my
Gears
idea
People
here.
Can Fly made Judgment.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Which is the worst one. But yeah, Epic Games made the first 3, and then the Coalition made 4 and 5.
You learn something new every day on the podcast.
Which I like 4 and 5. Like I like 4 a lot. 5 is all right. I know that's
the graphics are brilliant in both of them.
Oh yeah.
So I'll ask this: do you think the Coalition has done a better job with the Gears franchise than 343 has done with the Halo franchise?
100%.
Yes. 100%.
So put them at A tier above 343.
100% for sure.
Because they did the same thing that 343 did. They took over a storied legendary franchise within the Xbox family, and they continued with it. And it looks like they killed it, while 343 kind of stumbled a bit there. So,
all right, guys, coming down to the wire here. Let's Obsidian Entertainment.
S tier.
S tier.
100%. One of the greatest RPG developers in the history of gaming. Their first game that they put out was Knights of the Old Republic 2, which is one of my favorite games of all time.
KOTOR 2 was brilliant.
Absolutely incredible. Fallout New Vegas, for me, the greatest Fallout ever created. And then with Outer Worlds. I mean, Outer Worlds was a blast for me. I loved Outer Worlds. And then
Outer Worlds was really good.
Yeah.
I've never played KOTOR 2, but then I read the lore behind it. I watched the entire story play out.
Very good.
So, yeah.
You gotta play that game. So fun.
They have pillars. I think I've said this consistently. I think Avowed is set, or Obsidian is set to become almost the Naughty Dog-esque of like they produce these high quality games at Xbox.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they have like 6 games in development right now. There's Project Pentiment,
it's crazy.
Which is supposed to come out this year. Project Pentiment, that's supposed to be out this year. Grounded, and then obviously Avowed and Outer Worlds too.
That definitely shows the trust Xbox has in this studio. Is they're giving them the green light to do all these projects. So I think there's a lot to be said about that as well.
All right, guys, we got a few minutes. Let's blow through these.
All right, we'll do quick. A tier, one of the best COD studios.
Yeah, A tier.
I struggle to give Call of Duty an A tier, but you guys have.
There's some great Call of Duty games out there. It's not all the recent ones. We're talking about, going back in the day, World at War. I mean,
all right. ZeniMax Online.
B tier.
I was gonna say B tier.
Their MMOs
Elder
are
Scrolls
good.
Online. Elder Scrolls Online gets them B. If it was just Fallout 76, I'd be like, no.
Well, they really turned it around with 76. I mean, they pulled a No Man's Sky where a lot of people didn't care for it at first, but they've really turned around on it.
Infinity Ward.
A tier, one of the best COD
studios. A tier, the best Call of Duty studio.
The best. I will agree with that.
Yep, for sure.
Treyarch.
B.
I think B is fair.
It's hard to give it B for me because I love World at War. That's my second favorite Call of Duty game, but majority rules, so I'll accept the B tier.
I think B. They've made some all right Call of Duty games. Not Toys for Bob. I will accept nothing less than S tier. You guys can go away.
It teeters on the edge of S and A for me.
I would say B because all they've made is Crash, right?
They made Spyro. No, they did Spyro, the Reignited.
Oh, it's Spyro. Okay.
Yeah.
Still a B.
For me personally, I don't think they're on the same level of Double Fine when it comes to platform.
Yeah, I agree.
But I will put them next to Double Fine. I am perfectly happy with that.
Crash 4 is an amazing platformer.
It's not as good as Psychonauts 2, though. Yeah,
I vote A.
I'm fine with that. I'm good with that.
You guys want to take it? I will. But they're one of the studios I'm most excited to get because of their love for platformers.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yep.
We have Playground and Ninja Theory on here twice, so 3 left.
Okay.
Machine Games.
Not too familiar. Maybe I
They
B.
should
make
be.
they make Wolfenstein, right?
Yeah.
Oh, do
B.
they? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they make Wolfenstein.
I think they're fine. I don't think they're as
Yeah.
good as
B.
id or some
Yeah.
other
They're not good as
Bethesda
good as
studios.
Infinity Ward either, I would say. So B.
All right, yeah.
They're basically a bunch of id developers who split from id and made their own studio.
That's kind of
So,
how
yeah.
I think of them.
Yeah.
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 Blizzard Entertainment.
S.
S
yes.
for
They created
sure.
World of
Yeah.
Warcraft, even though
And
I might not play it
Diablo.
anymore.
World of
And
Warcraft,
Diablo.
Yeah.
They
the
created MMO culture.
the
They're the
legendary
ones that started it.
IPs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely legendary. There's no debate. I saved this one for last specifically,
Uh,
and I think you guys know I did. Rare.
Okay.
Rare is the last studio we have to rank.
yeah. And I wish we could have a whole podcast dedicated to talking about.
B.
Same. You
Rare.
can check out my history of Banjo-Kazooie video for more on Rare.
What did you say, Kevin? Did you say you agree with B?
I say
No.
Oh, I
'Cause,
thought
like-
you said yes to Amon.
No. I want to put them at A because of just their history and what they've
Mhm.
done.
Okay.
But I think
That- I
once you
agree.
get past the Xbox 360, it's rough until Sea
Yeah.
of Thieves.
you
There's
look at the last over a decade of Rare.
there's like
the
a
only
decade
game
where they
they
suck.
have made that really hit was Sea of Thieves, and that honestly didn't hit for like the first 2 or 3 years. It wasn't until the Disney crossover that it really blew up, and that was only
Yeah.
like last year or something like that, or maybe 2020. I don't remember.
And they're a completely different company after like the post 360 generation to pre like
And
when they were with Nintendo.
that was sad
remember?
because Xbox just turned them into a Connect studio
Yeah.
after they acquired them. It was
Exactly.
really sad.
So-
I don't think that's necessarily their fault. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm looking at the list of games right now, and I see a lot of great games. I loved Viva Pinata. You can hate me
Yeah.
all you want. Viva Pinata was fun.
Viva
And what was that big compilation that they did a couple
Rare
years ago?
Replay?
Rare Replay. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was fun. But again, that's just throwing a bunch of old games together, so I don't really
Mhm.
count that. But I'm fine with Rare being. I would actually say A tier, based off of history alone and where they're going.
That's the only thing getting them to A. It was between B or A, and it pains me because I love them.
Mhm.
But we don't have time to discuss that more, guys. We're out of it. So plugs, go. Amon, where can they find you?
You can find me at Amon_M05 on Twitter.
Ethan, where can they find you?
Find me at WhiteCedar1 on Twitter and Gravy3448 on Xbox.
And you can find me at the Muffin Mon. That's a 1-7I and an 0-7A. Follow us at Project X Talk. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. Let us know what you agree with and disagree with in the comments down below. Come join our Discord, chat with us more. But until next time, we'll see you guys. Goodbye.
Peace out, y'all.